F1 Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and also on the Dirt Track Bank Friday Night Lights page, doing a little test run over there. So if you're a viewer from over there, we appreciate you tuning in tonight, and you're going to get to see a little taste of Old Timers Tuesday here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. If you're 55 and older, this may be the home for you. We run one here on dirt, and then we'll go run another one on asphalt. They normally rotate between the Dallara DW12s and the trucks. I believe that's normally the go-to for them, but it's a nice little mix, and it always puts on for some good racing here. Let's get our cameras up and rolling here. Let's follow the Desert Demon here in the 161. Terry Landis. He comes into tonight third in points. Greg Boydell is in the lead with 565. Steve Bixler 36 points behind with 529 in P2. As we said, Terry Landis here rounds out the top 3 points positions. Now, Terry, he does only have 8 races. That's one less race run than the other guys in front of him. So there's a good possibility that once we get drop weeks and things adjust a little bit, that 161 may be a little closer in the points than he looks right now. But that's all in the hands of my man in that 39 machine, Patrick Spangler. He normally does the points for us here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Well, Patrick's busy winning races, and he's busy with kids here. He just had another kid, so the man in that 39, he's got his hands full right now, that's for sure. But, and you know, probably his hands more full than this guy in the 161, Terry Landis. The only guy on track right now, but looking really smooth in that machine. John Rayner in the 302 pulls out, gets us somebody else on the racetrack. He's in that Young Gun Creations 302. Let's watch some track cams here, John, for a little bit. As these guys practice here for about 2 more minutes or so, I'd imagine, maybe a little more, and then we'll get ready to roll. Decent field here, 11 guys, and like I say, you know, if you're out there watching, you're over the age of 55, and you know you're a clean racer. You don't have to be the best, you know. You can just be wanting to learn. It's a great place to do it, and you couldn't do it with a better group of guys. Here is Gary Sigelkow. He's really good on the asphalt. He's one of those ones I forgot to turn off race chat here right before we went live, and I heard Gary talking, so I was privy to that. You know, he's one of them. He's openly says it. He's still practicing here in the dirt. He's the perfect example. You know, he's very fast at sometimes, and then there's other times where, you know, hit a slick patch and you just maybe don't have that experience to really power on through. But if anybody can teach him, it's those boys at Venom, and I know Gary hangs out with Isaac and those guys a lot, so they're a great help. At 25, he's really come a long way. Big shout out to Maurer Farm Management too, while we're rolling around here. Without them, none of these broadcasts are possible. So big shout out to Maurer Farm Management for picking up the sponsorship this season for the retreads. Let's see. Oh, there is another practice room. I didn't realize that. Dino is out and about in another practice room. Watch that 79 roll around a little bit. GJ Boydell pulls out behind him in that 014. In the Every Child Matters machine. Take a lap or two here with Greg. Or actually, right as I do that, it looks like you see it's white. It's the name, the checkered flag waves, and we come to an end here. And well, in the Coast to Coast here, the retreads, luck of the draw here for your heat. No qualifying. Now, they do qualify on the asphalt side of things, but here, leave it to the pill draw for the heats, and we'll take a look at tonight's starting grid here for heat race number 1. Starting on the pole, the 2 of Harold Klump into his outside in the 25, Gary Sigelkow. Inside of row number 2 in the 747, the Bassman, Roger Craig, into his outside in the 110, Kelly Wheeler. Rounding out the field in row number 3 to the inside in the 531, Armando Melgoza. He's familiar with Friday Night Lights, and another one here that runs both Coast to Coast and the Friday Night Lights. Dean Reynolds rounds out the field. Tough draw for the 79. I believe everybody has hit the grid here, so pace car should be getting ready to roll. It does, and we're going to get set to start heat race number 1 here at the Lernerville Speedway. It's Harold Klump in the 2. He's always pretty good here in these small blocks, and starting out front, that 2 is going to be hard to run down. So good luck here if you're anyone else as this pace car rolls off. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 is underway at the Lernerville Speedway. Let's go play. Gary Siegelkow with a good jump on the outside in that 25 machine. But Harold Klump with a big-time slider there, and they were 3 wide for a second, but contact. Dino gets shoved off hard into the outside wall. Looked like contact between him and the Bassman, but we race on. Gary Siegelkow trying to make that outside work, trying to get P2 back from Kelly Wheeler. As, I see Dirt Track Bank comment. Hey, good to see you out there watching, Joe, or not too sure it is or who it is, but we got it working, and Friday night here should be pretty smooth. But 4 to go here. The front 3 starting to pull away as Roger Craig, that early contact with Dean Reynolds. He's trying to row these guys back in, but Kelly Wheeler kind of stuck here in 3rd all over the back end of that 25 as they maybe make a little contact. No harm, no foul. They keep racing. They roll the lip here in 3 and 4, and as they come out, 2 more trips around. Told you put that 2 up front, he's going to be hard to beat. You know, the track's still pretty fresh here too, so all the guys fighting for that same line. That 2 of Harold Klump, he has got that thing singing a song up high. White flag, 1 more trip around. Barring a big move here from Gary Siegelkow, you got to think the top 3 set here is Kelly Wheeler. Can't go for the 2 for 1. Harold goes downstairs and blocks. Checkered flag waves, and Harold Klump brings home heat race number 2. Gary Siegelkow, P2. Kelly Wheeler, 3rd. Roger Craig, 4th. Armando Melgoza, 5th. And Dean Reynolds rounds out the field. But man, oh man, that got close coming to the checkered flag there. Gary Siegelkow almost got to the outside, but ran out of room and got in the wall going down the front stretch as we get ready for heat race number 2. I'll tell you what, it's awesome to have this man out here with us in that 012 machine. Nobody has been through more than Bob Curtis these past few months. A few health scares, some sad family occurrences, and to have Bob out here with us tonight, that is awesome. And the 012, nobody deserves that pole here more than him. So no offense to everyone else in this heat race number 2, but man, we're hoping that 012 brings it home as he's going to start heat race number 2 on the pole. To his outside, the mayor, Steve Bixler. And inside of row number 2, the 302 of John Rayner. And to his outside, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. I almost called him the Dairy Demon. Oh, man. Well, Terry, if you still live back home here in PA, you know, we do have a lot of dairy cows here towards Mason-Dixon line. Maybe that would fit. But rounding out the field there in that 014, got G.J. Bunnell. As the pace car is off, that green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 2 underway at the Lernerville Speedway. Bob Curtis with a pretty good jump there. Steve Bixler maybe caught sleeping a little bit in that 75, but oh man, now stuck in the middle of that sandwich, and the mayor blinking up top here. Gonna have to get that the town there to raise that salary, or maybe you can get him to bring in some, you know, high speed here. I love picking on the mayor, but contact between Greg Boydell and John Rayner. I believe Greg's gonna turn it around. The Desert Demon almost gets stuck up there on that high side, but for now he's able to rope it in. Moving on up to P2 is the Desert Demon, and all out front by himself is the mayor, Steve Bixler, as we watch him roll from 3 and 4. John Rayner really tightened up there. That was a close one for him. Thought maybe he might touch the wall 3 more trips around. Steve Bixler, that's not our camera there. That's him blinking a little bit. No harm, no foul, especially when you got a 1.5 second lead. Nobody can complain. And with 2 laps to go, it doesn't look like anybody's going to have anything for the mare. Terry Landis with a comfortable gap over John Rayner, who's hanging out there in P3. Bob Curtis in 4th, and Greg Boydell, we saw the early trouble for him, but white flag waves. Steve Bixler still forcing the issue, and that 75 runs way high through 1 and 2. Gets a little more conservative here through 3 and 4 as the checkered flag waves. The mare brings it home. The Desert Demon P2, John Rayner 3rd, Bob Curtis 4th, and GJ Boydell rounds out the field. As we get ready to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, we will be right back after these words. Stick around. As we are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network here for tonight's first feature event here at the Lernerville Speedway, about to come up. The Bassman goes over the edge. Dean Reynolds rips the lip in 3 and 4, and he is that man at the top of the speed charts. But after the trouble that 79 had in his heat race, going to be a tough hill to climb for that 79. But if anybody can do it, it's going to be Dino here. And let's see, 11-car field. Dino can make that work. He's going to have to be quick, and he's going to have to be efficient. But if anybody can get that done, it's the 79 of Dean Reynolds. But now, man, ooh, Dino just took it back there. I was going to say GJ Boydell took the top time there for a quick minute. But Dean Reynolds takes it right back, and this guy's showing that the track is really picking up here. And we're going to have some faster times even in the feature. Going to be that awkward time too. It's going to be hard to throw the slider, but these guys, they'll be able to get it done. They're the best we have of the 55 and olders. So I expect to see a good race here as we get ready to read you the starting grid here for heat race number, or for tonight, for feature number 1. Excuse me, man. Shaggy's having a brain lapse here tonight. Starting on the pole, the 2 of Harold Klump. Into his outside, the mare, Steve Bixler. Inside of row number 2, the 25 of Gary Sigelkow. And to his outside, the Desert Demon in the 161, Terry Landis. Kelly Wheeler to the inside of row number 3. And to his outside in that 302, John Rayner. The Bassman, Roger Craig, to the inside of row number 4 in the 747. And to his outside in the 012, Glad to have you back, Bob. Bob Curtis. Inside of row number 5 in that 531, Armando Melgoza is outside of the 014, GJ Boydell. Rounding out the field, you see him rolling down the front stretch in that 79 machine, Dean Reynolds. As we do an extra pace lap here, like always, give the drivers a little time here to maybe over prepare. Maybe you second guess. Maybe you got yourself thinking too much. Or maybe you're getting yourself in that rhythm you need to be in. I always like that extra pace lap. Maybe I did think too much, but sometimes it works and most of the time it doesn't. But we only remember the sometimes that it worked, so we keep on doing it and we keep on doing it. But as the pace car is off, that green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 25 laps to play in the clay at the Lernerville Speedway, and we're underway. Harold Klump trying to find a way up to that top shelf here. That's where you want to be early on, but the mare's not going to let him. He gets a big run going down the backstretch, but they're 3 wide behind him. The Desert Demon to the high side. Gary Siegelkow stuck in the middle. Kelly Wheeler making it work on the bottom through 3 and 4 as he takes over that third and final podium spot. For how long? For very long, Kelly Wheeler says. Look at him making the bottom work there in 1 and 2. I did not think we'd see that work. But, man, Kelly Wheeler's showing the Desert Demon how to run in the basement. Normally, he's the guy leading the way down there, but side by side, almost pulls up to Steve Bixler in the middle of the corner. But the mare, he's got a huge run going down the backstretch as the first caution of the night is underway here at the Lernerville Speedway. John Rayner and possibly Roger Craig involved. Not sure if these are separate incidents or not. Let's see here. Here's the 302. Gets a little sideways. Gets into the 79. Goes up and over. So they're going to be unrelated here. Unrelated incident. Let's go see what brought out the caution. So this is right after, actually. Let's see here what happens to the Bass Man. Oh, Bob Curtis gets loose in front of him. He gets into the 012 and goes around. Nowhere for the Bass Man to go, and we're under caution for the first time here at the Lernerville Speedway. Kelly Wheeler leading the way here. Not sure what happened. Oh, I guess with the lagging, Steve Bixler here wants to drop to the back. Must be for the mare. There he goes. And just like that, Kelly Wheeler, he inherits the lead. He is your new leader in the 110. And man, that's really going to mix things up here. That's going to help Dino out. You see Dino up to 5th already. Man, oh man, him and Greg Boydell both up 5 spots in row number 3. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. And we're back underway at the Lernerville Speedway. Great jump for the 110 of Kelly Wheeler, who brings along the Desert Demon. Now Dean Reynolds here trying to tow along to move on to that third and final podium spot. Couldn't get the runoff advantage. Harold Klump up top. Dino trying to make it work, but he's going to have to go back up top exactly like he does there. Try to build back up some momentum. Then you can think about running that middle bottom. Have enough of a run. As Gary Siegelkow able to stay on the track. But boy, was that close for the 25. He almost goes over. Terry Landis trying to keep in touch here with the 110, but the 110, he might force Terry to call long distance here soon. He's pulling away a little bit every lap. Not significant, but Terry's going to have his hands full here as the 2 slowly reeling him in. Armando Melgoza and Gary Siegelkow possibly get into it. We see the aftermath, and Gary Siegelkow ends up bringing out the second caution of the night here at the Lernerville Speedway. See if we can see what happened with that 25 machine. He gets into the back of Armando, able to straighten him out, but then John Rayner gets into him, and Well, just like that, the accordion, and we're under caution here for the second time at the Lernerville Speedway. There's Terry Landis pacing around in second. Let's see here. These guys getting the one to go. I normally don't do this, but let's spice it up. I normally don't do it on the dirt side. I do it on the asphalt. But Terry's,
the top?
Oh, I see. I stole him when he was giving out information. All right, dude. How do you get to P1, man? What's the plan here? How do you get by Kelly?
I was just asking them guys, anybody running the top? Because he's running right where I am, so I was thinking about running the top, so I don't know.
Oh, crap. Well, hey, I'm going to send you back. I'll let you get your information. Good luck here, Yoo-hoo, man.
Thanks, brother.
He's going to need all the help he can get. That 110 out front is a rocket ship right now. Been pulling away steadily on the bottom, and you heard Terry trying to dig. Can I use the high side? He's got to figure something out because that 79's coming quick behind him. That 2 machine of Harold Klump, don't sleep on him either. Started on the pole for a reason. Won heat race number 1 pretty substantially. So don't sleep on that man in the 2 machine as we roll through 3 and 4. You saw the pace car go off. That green flag is high. She's ready to fly. 18 more laps to play at the Lernerville Speedway. We're back underway. Dean Reynolds, that first car to really go upstairs and test. See how much moisture's up in the attic. He's got to get on the binders. He thought Harold Klump was going to shut the door. Live smart, race another day. Contact between the 302 and the 014. GJ Boydell able to live too, but man, he really had to get out of it. Now he's in the clutches of the 747. As we go back up front, we see this battle for third heating up. Dino trying to get that run on the high side as he's got the spot as they enter the corner. But the 2 fights back in the middle. A lot of moisture still left down there on the bottom. Dino, though, up there making the money in 3 and 4, and he takes over P3 at the line. 1 and 2, though, is where if Dino could get downstairs, he could be a lot quicker. It's a nice mixture right now. You're seeing the top 2 running. Top in 3 and 4, bottom 1 and 2, and now, I mean, that's the example. You see, though, Dino, he's still stuck up there. Harold not going away, but this time as they go down the backstretch, advantage 79, and now he can put his head down. He's got 13 laps to see how far he can get up this podium. Roger Craig trying to get under the 302 here as he goes for a big send slider on John Rayner. John Rayner tries to counter back. They touch going down the backstretch. Roger gonna cut back under, but the 302 with a good enough run for now. But look at the Bassman. Big send. You got a hooker, Roger. Yeah, the Bassman knows how to hook it. Hooked it right up on that cushion. I thought maybe that 747 was going over. Battle heating up for P2. Gotta switch away. Dean Reynolds to the outside of the chocolate water, man. Can Terry Landis hold off Dean Reynolds? Gonna float up, but he can't shut the door. Dean with a bat out of hell here. 10 laps to go. Started 11th. Oh my God. Or wait, no. Up 9. Yeah, started 11th here. Dead last shotgun on the field for Dean Reynolds. I was pretty sure. And man, oh man, it did not take him but 15 laps, and Kelly Wheeler goes over the edge. Dean Reynolds has the lead. Kelly comes back on the track, spins out, and we are under caution for the 3rd time at the Lernerville Speedway. Oh man, Dean Reynolds put the pressure on the 110, and sometimes it's hard to handle that heat. Let's watch Kelly Wheeler here as he drives in. Looks good there, but you see, floats up a little bit there in the middle. Right rear goes over, and the 110 can do nothing. And look at the smile on that 79, smiling like a butcher's dog here. He comes to the podium, to the start-finish line. Oh, and Kelly Wheeler, that's why he spun out. When he tries to come back on, you see he gets into the side of Harold Klump. Look at Greg Boydell down there on the bottom. I mean, that's phenomenal to be able to get around that. That could have been a real close call. Kelly Wheeler, they're taking a little trip through the infield in that 110. Dean Reynolds here and has the lead now after Kelly Wheeler's troubles, but gotta say, man, maybe that was due. He was coming in that 79 and maybe only a matter of time. But now Dino's got to do what Shaggy couldn't do last night in the Rebels. Had the lead, couldn't hang on to it. Just couldn't find that right rhythm to get into, and now Dino, he's got to lock this thing up. He's had a quick car all race, and as that green flag is high, she's ready to fly. We're back underway. 7 laps. Can the Desert Demon find a way around Dean Reynolds? Or heck, can the Desert Demon even hold on to P2 as Harold Klump turning up that wick and Greg Boydell and the Bassman battling hard for 4th. The Bassman with a big send here. We got a guy up in the wall. The Mayor, Steve Bixler. Caution out here once again at the Lernerville Speedway. Steve Bixler hard into that outside wall. And we'll see here. It just looked like it got a little tight on him. Or no, yeah, I guess actually maybe a little too loose. The rear end just swung up over that hill, and man, he's going to hit this wall hard and end up seeing the aftermath. Oh, we're almost inside of the aftermath there for the Mayor. And he's going to have to go in and use that quick repair. And Dean's going to have to reset here and get ready to go one more time. Huge shout out to everybody tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. Well, you know, it's always a good finish here with the retreads, boys, and Dino. Man, he was going to treat us, I think, to a really good one there before Kelly Wheeler went over the edge. Now these guys got to try to rope him in. And, man, that is not going to be easy. You know, watch Dino get that amazing restart the last time, and I expect nothing less here from that 79. Is real pro. These cars are kind of his baby, you know. I mean, the real baby, it's almost turning into the sprint car. That's what Dino's really. You put a wing on this thing, and oh my gosh. Hopefully here the last restart as Dino brings them through 3 and 4. That green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 5 more laps at the Lernerville Speedway. Drivers running out of time. Better restart, though, for that 161 of Terry Landis. And then right as I say that, gets loose on exit. And Dino kind of pulls away a little bit. Terry going to make up some time here in the center of the corner. It's all about the exit here at the Lernerville Speedway. And Harold Klump reels him back in as those boys battling hard behind Roger Craig and G.J. Boydell. They've been doing this since before the caution. Heck, they might have been doing it under caution. These guys side by side putting on a show here. 3 to go. That's not even for a podium spot. That's for 4th. They're trying to get up to Harold Klump here. Greg Boydell finally feels the pressure cool down a little bit. Now he can try to get a run on that too, as there's 2 more laps to go. Terry Landis not letting Dino walk away this time, but he gets loose coming out of 2 and going through 3 and 4. That white flag is ready to fly. 1 more trip around the Lernerville Speedway. Does anybody have anything for that 79? Can Greg Boydell move into that 3rd and final podium spot? He gets a good run on the bottom coming down the backstretch. But as we roll through 3 and 4, Dean Reynolds in the 79 takes home the checkered flag. Terry Landis P2. Greg Boydell steals the podium, the 3rd and final podium spot. Harold Klum fourth. The Bassman rounds out the top 5. Kelly Wheeler, John Rayner, Bob Curtis, Steve Bixler, Gary Sigelkow, and Armando Melgoza round out the field here this evening as Dino brings another one home here in the dirt retreads. And man, this is he hasn't made every race this season, but if you would have, you may be looking at a possible champion. Dino has really been strutting his stuff here when he shows up for the dirt. But let's give these guys a minute or two here to catch their breath. And we'll see if we can't bring them up for their interviews. Here is GJ Boydell brings home third place. What is happening here? There we go. My apologies. We stroll on over to Discord. We see Greg's already waiting for me, so we'll go ahead and pull up this 042. Well, Greg, man, you stole third place there on the last lap, but the couple laps before that, man, you were having to battle hard with Roger Craig. You had an eventful night, man. I mean, you even started towards the back. Talk to us about your journey up to the front.
It was just slow and steady and kept running my line and hope no one else was running it. But yeah, it was fun racing with Roger. He's competitive, but he's finding his way now, so it's all good.
Yeah, and I mean, with these things, you're going to bump a little bit, guys trying to float up on exit. But what was your preferred line tonight? I mean, it seemed like it was kind of a mixture for those guys up front. Seemed like slider, maybe bottom line 1 and 2, and that top in 3 and 4. But what did you like out there, Greg?
I liked middle 1 and 2 and high 3 and 4.
Well, whatever you couldn't even run those lines all the time, man. I saw you going wherever you had to, moving that 014 to the front. And you did a great job of doing that tonight, Greg. Congratulations. Great P3 and going to help you out that much more in the points, man. Who you want to thank?
I want to thank you for doing the broadcast, our admin staff and our volunteer staff at C2C. Every child matters, and of course, we're thinking of Bob Curtis and Bill Calder as well. Bill has some tests to go to next week, so thinking of him as well tonight.
Yeah, well, that's so like Bill too. I mean, God bless him. I would have been shouting him out all these weeks, but he is such a selfless person. He doesn't even mention it. But yeah, Bill, man, you're always doing everything for us, dude. We're rooting for you too. Take care of yourself sometimes, Bill. We need you.
Yeah, Bill's very much of an in the background type of guy and quiet, and that's why he's good at what he does. So yeah, I mean, the best to everybody out there, but those two guys deserve our thoughts and prayers right now, especially.
Yeah, 100%. We all got to lean to the guys who need it when they need it, and those two could use it right now. Congratulations, Greg, on this podium, and I'll be looking for you here in the asphalt race, man. Good luck.
Yeah, we're going to roll the dice here in a few minutes and see what comes up.
Where are we at, Greg? I forgot where we're at.
We are at Daytona in the Dallara DW12s.
Okay. I knew it was Dallara's, but I couldn't remember if it was Daytona or Talladega, but I thought it was Daytona. Well, good luck here, Greg. I'll let you go practice, man, and hopefully I'll be talking to you after that one.
Okay. Take care, Shaggy. Thank you.
And now we're going to bring up the man who finished P2 there. It seemed like for a little bit here, Yoo-Hoo Machine, you were letting him run away from you. But on that last caution, I mean, what did you figure out? I mean, he did pull away a little bit, but you kind of overdrove the car with 2 to go. I mean, you were right there in case he made any mistake. What did you kind of learn there at the end?
Taking it easier coming out of turn 4 on the high side, and running down in the middle. The middle was a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's a kind of a case of, when you're the guy out front, you don't really get that luxury of moving around. You want to stay where you're comfortable, and then when those guys get by you, well, then you got to test and see what was around. Do you think if maybe, after you discovered that, maybe about 5 more laps, you could have had something for that 79?
Shaggy, I thought that, but I don't think so. He was pretty good. He was good all night. Well, I shouldn't say all night, all feature, I should say.
Yeah, he had to work his way on up through that feature, but I think he'd be the first to credit you if he looked at this. You kind of turned that second place around, and you were on the move there at the end. You had that thing looking good, and Terry,
Ah,
congratulations, my man! Another good points night. I don't have the dropped information, with the drop weeks, but you're pretty
right.
close with only running, with running one race less.
Yeah,
So I'm anxious
yeah.
to
I
see this
missed a
drop
week.
week.
Yeah, I had a vote.
Oh yeah, amen. Well, hey, it worked out for all of us. Your vote, I know it did. So
Yeah,
congratulations on the vote, Terry, and
yeah.
congratulations on this P2 tonight, man. Who you want to thank?
Oh, Shaggy, you're put on the best show ever. I love it. And you, of course, and Christ Oval Track Parts, because you have to need them sometimes, getting little accidents. And Galen's Home Popcorn, so when you're not racing, you have something to eat. And then Mara Farm Management for getting it done. And C2C and the admins.
Yeah, and don't forget with that Galen's popcorn, man. Code CART, 15%
Oh
off,
yeah,
my brother.
thank
15%
you,
off.
sir.
I use it every time. I've ordered that popcorn. I'm telling you, 20 times, Terry. Eat it.
It's good stuff. It really is.
It really is. But congratulations, Terry, and I'll be rooting for you here at Daytona, my man.
Thanks. We'll be there.
Now we're gonna bring up the man who did the opposite of what Shaggy does. When he gets out front, he holds on to it. Dino, congratulations, my man. You had to work for this one. I saw the trouble there in the heat race and got to start dead last. And how tough was it to move through the field? It seemed like you made it as easy as it could be.
I had a lot of practice from last night because I had to start last in that B main last night, and you need a little bit of luck. But here, the guys were racing good, and I just got to the top there and made it work a little bit and got some spots early, and then pick and choose, and and then we got a little lucky with Kelly going off the track there. I would have loved to race it out with him. I think we're about even speed, but it's tough here, Shaggy. As you get that right rear off the top, and sometimes you just hang it a little bit and you don't know if it's going to grab or not, and away you go.
No, yeah, and you kind of reminded me of Isaac, you being the 5 tonight, where guys didn't want to go up there and touch that top shelf last night until the 5 went up there and forced them to, because they saw how fast it was. And you did that tonight, and it forced Kelly to go off. I mean, nobody was running that high groove like you were tonight, Dean. It couldn't have been that easy as you were making it look.
Well, you got to live and die with the top here. I mean, there's some guys that can really make the middle work, and I'll tell you, Terry was making the bottom work. I was looking at my relative, and I'm hearing the engine underneath, and going into 3 and 4, he would close into like 0.2, but then, it looked like he was losing some momentum coming out. But you just never know with Terry running the bottom. But when it comes to Lernerville, when the middle and the bottom starts wearing out a little bit, you got to go back to the top. But the top is already worn out, so you got to be careful. I mean, it's what was the fall off count last night? 46. And
Yeah,
that's some of the best
46.
racers, and 46 went over last night. So, it's a tough track, but I enjoy running it. I came out here, tried to do a couple things different, tried to change my point of entries a little bit, and try to take that and learn when you run some other races down the road.
Well, hey, man, you did a great job, and I talked about it a little bit. You're a busy man, but boy, if you could show up for every one of these Tuesday nights, we might be talking to the points leader. Dean, every time you show up, you're always up here on the top of the podium. So congratulations on another good run, man. Who you want to thank?
Well, I appreciate it. And I wish I could race with these guys more. It's really fun to, like I said, really fun to race with guys in your age group here and have some fun together. And so the first thanks has to go to you, Shaggy, for doing the telecast and giving them, some seat time and then some air time. Coast to Coast gives them the seat time, and you give them the air time, so friends and family get to watch them race. So I got to thank you. I got to thank my guys at Full Throttle Motorsports, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have half the speed I got, because they like to teach an old dog like me some new tricks, and I just got to be not stubborn and listen to them. And, they've been helping me out quite a bit. And then we also have to thank Steve Maurer Farm Management, because it wasn't for his backing. Shaggy, I'm sure you charge him probably 79 cents an hour, and you just want to make sure that you get your money.
Yeah, I definitely like Steve and those boys. I definitely give him a discounted rate. That's for sure. I like doing these races, and it's a lot of fun for me to be able to call the next one with my dad too. So I really appreciate them letting me do that.
No, that's cool. That's really nice.
Well, hey, Dino, congratulations, my man. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you here at some point this week. I think Marty's a busy man Thursday, so I expect to be talking to you tomorrow or Thursday. What do you say?
Yeah, I think I'll be in Hometown Heroes tomorrow, and then we'll be running the events on Thursday as well, and then I got my dirt car banquet this coming weekend, so a lot of things going on, and then we'll put on the we'll get on the rig a little bit next week, as I'll slow down a little bit on Thanksgiving week, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, hey, once again, Dean, congratulations, man. One of my favorites. Love talking to you, and give him hell the rest of the week, man.
All right, man. Take care, Zach.
And with that here, we're going to take a quick break on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we're going to be back with 25 laps in the Dallara DW12s at the Daytona Super Speedway. So stick around here, pop your popcorn, go refill those drinks here. We're about to kick off the second part of the show. We'll be right back.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in an on-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for part number 2 here of Malware Farm Management Old Timers Tuesday. And we're at the Daytona Super Speedway for 25 laps here with Dallara DW12s. Well, this could get interesting here. Sometimes these Dallaras maybe get us into a little bit of trouble here. The hitboxes aren't really the best, and what I mean by that, you know, they can just promote a little more than normal. With Tim Chapman here and Greg Boydell running around together, just messing around, maybe experimenting with that track. Let's see if Greg Boydell can pull by that 37 of Tim Chapman. Let's see. Racing they put on here as they're running side by side. Who has the advantage? Tom to the start, finish. Tim would have barely edged him out if that was for the finish. A little surprised to see it working out so well. Now Tim fights back in the middle of the corner here as warm-ups are over and we get ready to roll into qualifying here. So we'll see who pulls out on the track first. It's looking like it's the man in the 747, the Bass man, Roger. Let's ride around here with him for lap number 1. Shaggy thinks he locked his wife outside, so give me 30 seconds. You'll be watching Roger Craig, and I'll be back, I promise, before the end of lap number 1. But I hear her knocking, and I want to stay married. Roger Craig right now. Quick time here. GJ Boydell, though, in the purple. We know what that means. Purple, purple. Well, that's quick time for GJ Boydell. And look at this. We got a man who we haven't had out here with us in a while. Roland Olson in the 03 machine. We've got chocolate milk. We've got the Nestle machine out here. Old Nesquik. Rolls down the backstretch here. We're going to watch times roll in. GJ Boydell purple through sector 1. That means he's going quicker, ladies and gentlemen. Purple again. Greg Boydell really putting a stamp on that. But look, Roland Olson tries to equal that mark. And okay, we're going to pull up iRacing here because this has the tie. We got to look at this. We've got to look at this. A 6-1-2 to a 6-1-8 is Hollywood Olson. Just misses out. You see Tim Chapman there bringing home a close third. As qualifying is a big deal in these things, it's really hard to move through the field. So half the battle here as we watch Bob Curtis in the 0-1-2 come around. What is his time going to look like? Bob Curtis going to go 11 out of 12, so there is room for improvement. Looks a little shaky there, though, so not sure if he's going to get it or not. Well, actually, that was his second lap, so not sure if he had reset on the first one. If he'll even do another lap here, the 0-1-2. Because, yeah, he's slower anyways through sector 1, so it won't matter. He's doing a nice little pace here. Just see what the track looks like. In the pits here. As soon as we go on board, Bob says, you don't get a free show. He's not getting any money tonight. And just like that, the session comes to a close here in qualifying. And we're going to get ready for tonight's final feature event here. 25 laps at the Daytona International Speedway. Let's take a look at that starting grid. Starting on the pole, the 014 of GJ Boydell. Into his outside in the 03, Hollywood Roland Olson. Inside of row number 2, Tim Chapman in the 37. Into his outside in that 302, John Rayner. Inside of row number 3, the 70 of Mike Cramner. Into his outside in the 25, Gary Sigelkow. Inside of row number 4, the Mayor, Steve Bixler. Into his outside, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Inside of row number 5, the Bassman, Roger Craig. Into his outside in that 531, Armando Melgoza. Rounding out the field in the 012, Bob Curtis to the inside of row 6. Into his outside in that 131, Stu Wright. Get rid of this grid here, pop up our leaderboard, and we get ready for the show here at Daytona Super Speedway. I say Daytona Super Speedway, Daytona International Speedway. What? What's wrong with this? It's a great question. I think Shaggy should know, but a quick Google should help Shaggy, I think, right? Daytona. All right, it's International Speedway. Daytona International Speedway. Well, Shaggy, I'm not changing it. It's staying Daytona Super Speedway in the top left right now. I've been there in the future. Been there in real life. I was pretty sure it was International Speedway. And when I did go here, it was probably the most boring Daytona race of all time. I've talked about it 1,000 times on here. But Tony Stewart dominates the race. That was rain delayed, led all but 4 laps. Watched Mark Martin slam the French stretch wall right in front of me. And he was my favorite driver. So it was just, all in all, it was terrible. Terrible experience. That was when NASCAR was going through not the tandem cars, but when they just like really couldn't pull out a line and draft. It's pretty much that 2-line draft pack the whole time. And Tony Stewart stunk up the show. So hopefully we get something a little different here as we see that pace car pull off. And the drivers are getting set to go 25 laps at the Daytona International Speedway. The green flag waves, and G.J. Boydell brings us to the green flag. Greg with a good start, able to get right out front. Hollywood trying to peek down. John Rayner able to peek down as well. Tim Chapman's going to lose a spot here early on, but Hollywood looking high here, turning up the wick. We got a battle for the... No, we don't have a battle. Yeah, we do. There, Hollywood, he's back. He's the Magic Man. Disappears, now you see him, now you don't. Hollywood, we got a run on the outside, and we got a battle for the see him getting a little shaky there. Mike Cramner's getting shaky as well behind him. Couldn't tell if that was a, you know, they both did the same thing, or if maybe Mike got sketched out a little bit here, but running pretty hard. One lap into it here in Daytona. Tim Bobble as well, hits that apron and gonna slide up, spin sideways, him and Mike Cramner hard into the inside wall, and no caution here at Daytona. The green flag stays, and man, that's gonna put a hamper on their nights here. One mistake going that fast can ruin your night, and we do end up getting a caution here, possibly an admin caution. Gonna save the day as those two have to tow back. Coast to coast, they will put you back on the lead lap, so no harm, no foul, but still a long way to go here at Daytona. Gonna have 23 laps to go, only 2 in the book, so guys just need to, you know, hold that line, just be patient here, crack that throttle when you need to. You're gonna have plenty of time to work your way on up. Man, if you make a mistake like that, that's going to make it that much harder for you as the Nesquik man rolling around out front early. Haven't had Hollywood in a while. Let's see here. Let's pull him on up to the booth here, as he may be shocked having done this in Hollywood, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. Long time no see. How you been, brother? Yo, Roland, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. I can't believe this thing's being broadcast. I'm embarrassed.
Oh no, man, you're good. You're good. So, you know, rolling out front here early on. I mean, that move to the outside. What do you think? You did it by yourself. Is that maybe something like you want to protect that line later on, or do you think the bottom is the place to be?
I was just looking for some clean air. You know, these things are so crazy fast that, you know, it's hard to tell. You know, it's not like NASCAR where you can bang around a little bit. One little slip up, it's trouble on these guys.
Well, hey, man, I see, you know, pace car caught you. You're going to try to line back up here, so I'll let you go do your thing. But good to have you back here, Hollywood, and wishing you the best of luck, my man.
Yeah, good to hear you behind the mic. It's a lot of fun when you do the races, so thanks for calling me up.
We'll go win this thing here. I'll talk to you again, brother.
All right, man. Let's go.
Hollywood rolling his way back up to the front where he should be. He's just being patient. He's got to listen to Shaggy blabbering off, so he's in no rush to get up there. Well, I mean, we were watching those guys in the back, I believe. Roland was up front. Maybe he wasn't at the time of the caution. That may have been a Shaggy error. Let's actually look at enough time. Okay, so no, he wasn't up front, because right there, when I click to, now the caution comes out. So he is just behind John Rayner there at the moment in third place. So Olsen, where he's supposed to be, the Iron Man out front right now, and looking to really put a stamp here on this points. Got a 30-point lead over Terry Landis. This is another close one. Terry right now, let's see, he's in 5th, so he can see Greg, and you know, he sees the sand in that hourglass running out. Here, Greg's been Mr. Consistency in the asphalt this season, and with that, it's been really hard for anyone to try to make any gains. Greg, he's had a couple hiccups, but he just finds his way back into the podium even after those hiccups. But for sure, top 5s. I mean, he's, I'm say 9 races this year, 7 top 5s, 9 races for Terry Landis, 2 wins, 3 top 5s. So I mean, right there, you know, that's the big difference. And I mean, when Greg's had bad races, they've been bad. He's got more incident points than Terry, but he's found a way to just climb that mountain and get his way back up into the picture. And that's why you can never count that guy out of a points run here. And Greg Boydell with that 30-point lead. Gotta be the betting favorite here as we get ready to close out the season. Backstretch, you see the lights are off in the Steve King Foundation pace car. Back green here this time by. We saw Tim not get the best restart on the bottom last time. If you're Hollywood here on the inside, you want to try to prevent that from happening. You want to be right up as close to Greg as you can, and as soon as you see that thing sniff a couple inches away from you, you hammer that throttle. You're not worried about wheel spin in these puppies. That's for sure. As they roll by the pit entrance, that green flag is high. She's ready to fly. 22 more trips around the sun. When we take the green flag, we're back underway. Greg Boydell with a good restart, able to get out in front. And, well, Hollywood, not the best restart. Allows Roger Craig down in front of him. The Bassman started 9th up to 3rd. He's your biggest mover here early on. He's looking to the outside here, trying to get a big run. Maybe sniffing for that lead in the 747. The Bassman here. Oh, Greg's still there, so close. Oh man, look at how close they are going through 3 and 4. Greg Boydell using that side draft just like he needs to. Gets back to the front in that 014. Roger ain't going to go away that easy though. John Rayner bouncing around a little bit on the bottom. That's not what you want to see if you're Roland Olson there. He's that 3rd car in line. Let's ride on board with Roland. Let's see what Hollywood sees. Doesn't know where to go. He can pick here, but you don't want to go in the middle. I can tell you that. And I think Hollywood knows that. I mean, look at those guys shuffling around. Really hard to keep these things straight. Do not want to be in the middle of that and see that whole close. These guys racing back here in their own little pack here. Kind of got a second groove. Gary Siegelkow to the outside trying to lead that second group. Mike Cranmer behind him in the 70 involved in that early accident. So we go back to these guys up front. Still 2 by 2 behind the 014. Oh, good save, Hollywood. Clips that apron a little bit, has to crack that throttle, but able to keep it straight. He's just got to put his head back down and get back on the lead lap. Right, not in the lead lap. Get back up with the lead pack, excuse me, and he does that. Man, tongue twisters tonight for me. Oh, as we saw a car in the wall up there smoking a little bit. What's that? Possibly Stu Wright, maybe in that 131. Bouncing a little bit. Tim goes down there and clips the apron. Oh, man. You cannot touch that apron. Did that once already. It caused him some trouble. Gotta stay off that apron as he tries to get a pull here. Using Gary Singlecow to try to move around Bob Curtis in that 0-1-2 machine. Go back towards the front. Battle heating up. Roger Craig coming with a full head of steam down the backstretch. As Roger has the advantage there in the middle of the corner. But you see Greg, he just pulls back the momentum. Coming off the corner, he's got the advantage on Roger. Roger, oh! Man, him and John Rayner side by side. You couldn't have stuck a sheet of paper in between those wheels. Oh, there they go! That was brewing for a while. There they go. No caution. No caution just yet, but oh man, there's going to be one. Wild wreck here. Everyone in that second pack, I think, involved. Bob Curtis, no, he's involved. Bixler may have snuck on through, but man, oh man, caution flag out once again here. As you see here, we watched it unfold live up front. We're going to watch this from what it looked like to just see it all happen. So this is the mayor, Steve Bixler. You see, they've already racked up there. Now, nobody has really lifted out, I don't think, trying to barrel or maybe barreling on by. And Gary comes up, clips the nose of the 70. Tim gets into the 161, but look at Steve Bixler. Able to wheelman his way on through in that 75. And you got to think, with that, the man in that 75, he's earned his interview here tonight. Let's see if we can talk to the mayor. We'll bring him on up here, possibly, quite maybe. We got him up here. Steve, man, we rode on board with you. How did you just make it through that parking lot, man? That was crazy.
I'll tell you what, Shaggy, we come up on it pretty fast. I seen some stuff happen, and I was running at the back anyway, so I just backed out of it, and like I said, I made it through it, so gained a lot of positions this way.
Yeah, I mean, what's the plan here? Do we get aggressive, try to get out front, or do you kind of like where you are and maybe wait till a couple laps to go? What's going through the 75's head?
Well, we're running at the back there, and I was just happy to run there. I mean, just as long as we could stay nose to tail, whatever, and we're going to be all right. I figured we were going to have a caution, so now we'll get a little bit racier here. Now we're towards the front.
Well, hey, man, you got it up there in the top three, up there in the top 5 right now. It looks like that's where you need to be, and we're rooting for you here, Mayor. Go get him.
Thanks, Shaggy.
It's the Mayor, Steve Bixler, as we send him back home. Got himself in a good spot right now. It's got Gary Singlecow as the leader. That's not correct. You're looking at your top 4 there. It just changed. Greg Boydell, Roland Olson, Armando Melgoza, and Steve Bixler. Armando maybe made it through that as well. Let's see what kind of Melgoza had in this. So he's up there in that outside wall. He is in front of Steve Bixler when it comes out. Does he keep it out of the wall? Or does he get a little side damage here? Let's pause this. Let's go. Let's drop it in the cockpit. Let's roll it. Maybe a couple scrapes, but he's able to lock that thing up, keep it straight. And man, Melgoza able to go. Oh! Thought he could relax there, but man, Armando, boy, he made it through. 5:31. Do we have him in? I don't see him in Discord. Armando, if you ever go back and watch these races, brother, if you ever want to sit in the Discord, you feel free and I can pull you up. We can learn a little bit about you, my man. Would have loved to talk to you after that ride you had through that caution. As the lights go off, we got the 1 to green, and we'll be going back racing this time by. You know, while we're pacing around here, make sure you tune in every Tuesday night for these Mauer Farm Management Old Timers Tuesdays. They're a blast. But tomorrow night, you want to tune in for that Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Heroes event. And then Thursday, I'm going to be calling the show as well, I believe. And I think rolling into next season, possibly. Thursdays maybe become a permanent home for Shaggy here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. So that would be really cool. I always enjoy calling these guys. You know, they can hate each other sometimes, and they can be best of friends sometimes. It's family. And I mean, really, here at Coast to Coast, we all do act like a family. We all go in ebbs and flows. Some people dive away for a little bit, man, but most of them make their way on back to home. A lot of us drivers call this series home. I know the Coast to Coast Racing League was probably my first shot here at a league. Definitely, they gave me the shot on broadcasting, so for that, I will forever owe them. But as we see that green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 17 laps to go at Daytona, and it looks like we may be back under caution here. Man, that did not take long. Gary Sigelcow. Let's see here. No caution yet. Spinning out in the grass. And we're back under caution here. I know it's tough, and I feel for the guys. I really do. You know, when you're involved in that accident early, but when no caution comes out, man, we got to try our best to keep that thing straight. Because that was a case of just because you see the green flag on your screen, you know, you can't go if the guy in front of you doesn't go. See Gary and John going a little early here before Bob ever goes, and Bob gets rear-ended, no fault of his own, and just like that, we're back under caution here again. Let's see here. We'll have 16 to go, I believe, when we get the green flag the next time. So having a caution about every 2.5 laps here. 2 laps, so the boys need to get that average up a little bit here. Get some green flag laps in. There's going to be no way to get around that 014 if we can't burn off some fuel and lighten these things up and get some green flag laps in. So that's what these guys are rooting for right now. As looks like lights are still on, so we're going to go around one more time here at least. All right, you saw those weird angles, messing around with a couple cameras. Boy, you see, they don't know. They're not any good. That's just the nice way to say that. They are pretty much worthless and are going to 100% here. Let's see how worthless it is. Yeah, let's see. We'll just show everyone one more time the worthlessness we're talking about. It's now this one maybe not as worthless. Okay, I thought this one was worthless too. Let's see. That one actually, hey, this one does all right. Shaggy can get down with this one. But man, those other ones, they's gots to go. As the pace lights are out, and we should take the green flag here this time around. Is that 014 of Greg Boydell ready to click some more laps and get this thing back underway? Roll down the backstretch here. Looks like they're crawling. I promise you they're not. They're doing about 70 here, but we got a big old track. It looks like they're just crawling around Daytona International Speedway here. It's Greg Boydell in that 014. He'll get ready to watch that pace car dive off onto pit road and be set to go back to the green flag. Oh man, this is going to be really bad. This is going to be really bad. Please slow down. Ooh, that was scary. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 16 more laps to go at Daytona International Speedway. We're back underway. Spreading out just a little bit here towards the front. You see Tim and Steve kind of miss that restart a little bit. They don't want to battle each other too long, or those front three, they can work together and try to right this ship and pull away. As Greg Boydell with an excellent start, but man, Hollywood, he's going upstairs trying to get some back in the air. He's back. Tim Chapman coming in this 37. That green and black machine. Looking to the inside, following Armando Melgoza. Here comes some help for Hollywood up top. Got Mike Cramner in that 70 rolling the top shot. Tim and Roland getting pretty close there on entry, but making through the corner, and Tim moves on up to P3 as those guys in the back, Gary Siegelkow and Bob Curtis, possibly tap the wall, one of them, and man, they're losing touch of the field. I think a caution's brewing, and there it goes. Saw that coming from a mile away here, and we're back under caution at Daytona for the 4th time here. Let's see here. Roland comes down, and then, well, Tim moves up, but gets into the back of him, and that's a case of, he may have panicked a little bit. You see that door shut, but, if you maybe just crack that throttle, you'll live. I mean, he survives it anyway, but, maybe everyone lives to race another day. Let's see here. We'll watch it at full speed, too. He goes down. I mean, it's a tough move, but it was clear. And I mean, the 37 then just gets in the back of the caution once again. Was Roland able to make it back to pit road? Yes, he was. And GJ Boydell paces the field here. We'll still have 14 laps to go. Lights are still on the pace car, so we'll roll around one more time here. Kind of involved in accidents here. Let's see get anybody in trouble here. So we'll let the tempers cool down before we bring anybody up. And if they get some green flag in here, we'll bring somebody up next go around. But you want to have them at their best. You don't want to have them after they're just pacing around. So we'll try to see if we can get some laps in. Maybe we'll get lucky enough we'll stay green here. Greg Boydell, though, showing how he, has been able to hold on to that points lead a lot of these races. Maybe he hasn't won, but he's been up in the top 3, top 2 area, and able to stay out of the nonsense. If you can get that thing up there and stay up there, you only got to worry about yourself. You're your own worst enemy, and Greg's been doing an excellent job here of setting the pace early. As we hold our hands together in a triangular fashion, we hope the lights go off. They do. And we'll double up here and get set to go back racing one more time. Let's see, I believe Roland, after that accident, he decided to maybe end his run here. Alrighty, the lights are back on, and I guess we're gonna go around one more time. Lights are off now, but they were last time, so not gonna hold my breath here. But we might be going back green here this time. Go down the backstretch here. Greg Boydell's led most of the race here, but lots and lots of cautions, not a lot of green flag laps here. So we've really only seen, we've seen a couple passes here on restarts, but when they start to mix it up here, you see drivers get into trouble, bouncing around, hitting the aprons. It's been quite a fest here so far. So get everyone back in the running here, and John Rayner not too sure what's going on with the 302. Pulls down to the inside down the backstretch. So glad he stopped off the racetrack. If he had stopped on the racetrack, those lights were going to go back on. And Shaggy was probably going to cry, as the pace car is going to pull off. That green flag is high, and boy, is she ready to fly. 14 laps to go at Daytona International Speedway. Let's see how long we can go play. Terry Landis on the inside of Mike Cramner. They're the only guys mixing it up right now in the front five as we bounce back. Gary Siegelcow and Stu Wright battling. Bob Curtis and Steve Bixler are going to single file out here as Tim Chapman on the inside of the Desert Demon. Terry Landis now on the inside of Armando Melgoza. They maybe make a little contact there as they enter the corner. Tim clips that apron. He goes up the track. Oh, boy. Possibly comes down across Armando there. Couldn't tell if Armando came back up, but we get one lap in. One wreck here. Not sure if caution's going to come out, but man, it's a mess here at Daytona. So we'll see here. It doesn't look like we are going to get the caution. Going to keep on rolling for now. And SDK not going to help me out with that Tim Chapman Armando Melgoza accident, so we're not going to get a good view of that. Couldn't tell if Tim came down or if Armando came up, but either way, two cars tore up here, and can't win from pit road as the battle heating up front. Mike Cramner looking to the outside of GJ Boydell. GJ bouncing a little bit on that inside. Mike Cramner does a good job of responding, gives him a little bit more room. Tries to go for another charge here down the backstretch. Will we have a new leader? Mike Cramner pulls up even with Greg Boydell, takes the lead for a slight second. But Greg fighting back on that inside. Mike bouncing a little bit up top. It's going to give the advantage to GJ in that 014. Going to hold him off here for at least one more lap. 11 to go. We go back here and take a look. They're battling back here. Bob Curtis, Steve Bixler, and Roger Craig. This is for fourth. Who's in touch with those leaders if they need to line up, if they wouldn't even think about coming back at them here, and they're racing hard. This is your best chance, and we do have a new leader, Mike Cramner, able to clear the 014 at GJ Boydell. Goes downstairs and shuts the door. Come out of turn 4 here, across the start-finish line, 10 laps to go. Mike Cramner is your new leader in the 70 machine as Terry Landis looks low after Greg Boydell looks up to the high side. Mike Cramner clips the apron. He gets into it with GJ Boydell. Broken left front on the 014. Mike Cramner tries to hold on to that thing. Trying to, that thing's beat up. GJ with that broken left front, he's going to have to go down pit road. You would think, can he even hang on to it in front of these guys? Is he going to stay out there in that 014? He is not going to come down and use a quick repair. Man, that left front bouncing up and down here. And Terry Landis with a 9/10 of a second lead trying to pull away. But Bob Curtis slowly reeling him in that 012. Watch the relative there on the standings. And who is that? Mike Cramner's still struggling down there in the infield trying to get back. I knew I heard something down there. Bob Curtis trying to mount this charge. He's got Roger Craig in the 747 behind him. Caution flag finally. Let's see what did bring that out. It wasn't Mike. Not too sure what did end up bringing that out here. Oh, you're under caution again regardless. And should have 8 laps to go here when we get the green flag. That was really scary for Terry Landis. I have no idea how he didn't just get damaged there with that car blinking right through him, but that is, man, he's counting his lucky stars. That was a really, really close one. I don't even know how he just got away. No Bob Curtis in Discord today either. Not too sure how that 012's feeling, but he's running P3 right now, so maybe even P2 here in the cycles. I don't know if he was in front of Roger or not. Caution comes out. Yeah, it looks like he is. Going back to the inside, so that 012 up to P2. And Bob Curtis, man, he could use this podium. Maybe spark him in the right direction. Well, lift those spirits in that 012. So we're rooting for Bob here. Hopefully he can keep cracking at this thing and try to bring one home. Guessing we'll get a refresh here on the standings too. We know Steve Bixler isn't a lap ahead. Sometimes SDK gets a little upset with iRacing under caution, and I think that's what we're kind of seeing happen here. This should cycle out, refresh itself, I think. But I did see Mike Cramner go around. I don't know if that's going to cycle itself out, to be honest with you. Okay, it is gonna, maybe. There we go. Just gonna keep messing up here until we go back. Terry Landis here. Looks like everything is all good in the standings land here. Finally cycles around and everything looks correct as of now. GJ Boydell going down pit road here. Lights are off and we should go back green this time. 8 laps to go. I say, should have 8 laps to go here, so not too sure if the guys are going to behave themselves and we'll get it in here, or if we're going to have to maybe do 2, 3, 4 shots at this thing. Hopefully it's the one shot. Hopefully these guys can race it out here. This is our best chance here for the best race if we stay green. If we keep having the cautions, it's just going to keep retightening up the field, and people are going to be throwing. Oh, excuse me, as you caught the beginning and the end of that, my apologies, but like I was saying, I think the best chance here to good finish is for these guys to stay single file, or I mean to, the single files, be patient on the restarts and just try to pick them off one at a time here. But boy, oh man, it looked like they were getting aggressive there already. Roger just able to go around Bob Curtis. Bob got caught sleeping, and Roger goes from 3rd to 2nd around the high side early. Tries to run down Terry Landis. He should easily be able to do that. He's got plenty of toe here, and that's what everybody else is thinking about behind them as well. Bob Curtis going to duck down and ride Gary Singlecow to the bottom, and he's going to shut up. Gary to that outside, going to take that momentum. 25 is always a guy to watch on asphalt. That's what I said. Maybe not the top shelf upper echelon on the dirt. He'd admit to that, but put him in the asphalt car and he knows how to go to the front. Gary Singlecow does that. Up the Kramer trying to get the outside. He's got a car lagging up there. That's Stu Wright. That can't be easy for everyone to be around, but Stu doing a good job of staying high. Probably knows that he's going to laps to go, and 6 to go when they come out of 4 and hit the stripe. That's plenty of time to make a move here. He gets loose, gets into GJ Boydell. GJ able to keep it out of the wall, I think, but man, he is way off the pace in that. Don't look now, battle for the lead. The designated by side. Gary Singlecow down low in that yellow machine. Floats up here. Ooh, who got in the wall there? Was that John Rayner in the 302? On top. No, that was Steve. Not Steve Dixon. That was John Rayner in the 302. Him and Roger's paints look very similar in that inside. Roger in that other white Delara with the black on the nose. That's the main difference between him and John. 5 to go. Guys bouncing around, but everybody being nice, leaving everyone enough room, and it allows for those little bobbles, those mistakes in the corners, and that's where, whoa, man, Roger Craig, boy, that was close. He floated up there going into 3, and he got right beside that 70 of Mike Cramner. Oh, Gary Singlecow floats up a little bit as Terry Landis is there, and Terry reacts nicely, able to move up, get out of the way. But Bob Curtis and Stu Wright involved. Bob Curtis, hard, wild flip. He ends up in the infield, and man, that thing, he goes through the imaginary land of pit road as we got 5 guys up front left as this thing stays green. You got to think these are the ones with a shot to win, but Greg Boydell, we talked about him, he lost the pack earlier, may not be in a bad spot here if these guys end up picking each other off as Terry Landis gets back to the front. Roger Craig floats up a little bit, gets into the, oh. So we had 2 separate things there. It must have been Terry and Gary get into something, and we have the original bounce off with Roger. So we see that. Now let's go up here to Terry Landis. What happens here? Looks like he gets some help. Let's try to get in an aerial view here. And let's try to watch this thing. So Gary gets a run. And, yeah, just, I mean, runs into the back of Terry. Then, I don't know, maybe he wanted to stay behind him, but after he gets into the back of the right rear, Terry pulls down and hooks him, and Mike Cramner gets involved. Roger Craig and John Rayner, man, they get oh so close. John Rayner does an excellent job of driving through the middle of that and somehow surviving. Man, that could have been bad, but the 302 of John Rayner finds himself now in P2. Roger Craig may have a little damage on that 747 after that slight contact. Let's see if we can get a zoom in. Doesn't look bad. The front wing looks good. Seems like everything's okay on that 747. Not too sure what the situation is going to be like, too, because I believe 3 drivers have to tow, so we only have the top 6 currently. No, Stu Wright's not even out there on the racetrack. Mike Cramner is in the pits. Bob Curtis is as well, but Stu Wright nowhere to be found in that 131 for Shaggy, at least. Mike Cramner able to get that thing back out. The lights are off. We should go back green here this time by. I don't think Stu Wright is any longer with us, so we just have the top 8 drivers still here. Roger Craig leading the way in the 747. So 3 laps to go. We'll see if we only need one shot at this thing or what it's going to take here to get this thing in the books. Roger Craig would love this thing to stay green flag, get a good jump, and just bring it home 3 laps to do it in that 747 as we roll out of turn 4. The pace car will get ready to pull off down pit road, and we will be set to bring it back to the green flag. 7th restart here of the evening as the Bassman enters that Geico restart zone, drops the hammer, and we're back underway. Good restart for John Rayner as he's able to stay close to the 747. Steve Bixler looking to the outside of G.J. Boydell right away, trying to make it a little messy here, but Mike Cramner taking advantage of that opening on the bottom, and Terry Landis here thought about making it 3 wide, but he's going to go downstairs and follow Mike. Roger Craig trying to just stay smooth here, man. Hoping his buddy John Rayner will stay behind him, but he leaves a lane open. Greg Boydell trying to take advantage, but didn't want to pounce just yet as we roll across the stripes. 2 laps to go. Mike Cramner to the high side, John Rayner to the inside in row number 2, Boydell to the inside, and Steve Bixler to the outside. You're looking at the top 5. Roger Craig leads the way here as Gary Singleker is, Terry Landis and Bob Curtis, they're losing touch here. They got to line up. They're going to get into trouble. Rolling through 3 and 4. John Rayner thought about sticking it under the 747, but instead cracks that throttle, and he's got one more lap to do it here as white flag waves one more time around. We got one more flag coming, and that's the checkers here as we roll through 1 and 2. Contact between Mike Cramner and John Rayner. They both go hard around. Terry Landis able to move his way on through. Battle for P2 for the lead now heats up. Steve Bixler looking low here. Roger pinched him down. He didn't want to do it below the yellow line. He moves up. They make a little bit of contact. They rub. Steve Bixler here gets the elbows out. He's the leader as they go through 3 and 4. He floats up in front of the Bassman. Roger looks down low. Advantage 75, and the mayor brings home the checkered flag at Daytona International Speedway. Followed by Roger Craig, Greg Boydell, Bob Curtis, Terry Landis, and it looks like Mike Cramner going to bring home that P6 spot after being involved in that accident with the 302 of John Rayner. Rayner 7th, Gary Siegelkow 8th, Stu Wright 9th, Tim Chapman 10th, Armando Melgoza 11th, and Hollywood rounding out the field here this evening. Man, I always tell you, and this is no shot at those guys. I mean, they don't want to have these cautions. Sometimes, it can drag out, but I have yet to call one of these races where it isn't a good finish. And it may take a little bit to get there, but the mare delivers. Able to get by Roger Craig on that final lap and able to secure a win here in the asphalt side of things, as I do believe. Let me double check here, though. Yeah, that's his first win of the season here in the asphalt retread. So Steve Bixler gets it done here and brings home the W. Gonna give these guys a minute or two to catch their breath, make their way on up to Discord, and we'll give these guys their interviews here this evening. Let's see here. The driver details don't want to show up. Let's Shaggy try to make a recovery here. We had the leaderboards the whole event, and now when we go to this replay, they don't want to show you who I'm talking to. See if we can get this to work. Well, Shaggy's all out of ideas here. I can't close SDK or I won't have this replay because the race is over. Well, I'll introduce him. You guys will know who it is. Sorry I won't have the bottom thing up of who you're talking to, but I promise I'll do my job of telling you who they are. Is Greg Boydell able to bring home another podium in that 014? Well, Greg, longer race here with the cautions, and you kind of were settled into that group number 2, but you see the accident happen in front of you, man, and you end up coming home with P3. You got to feel good.
Yeah, it was a long race. Ready for my nap.
Yeah, and I mean, talk to us about that. I mean, I saw you got bounced down low a little bit there early on, and I mean, there for that longest green flag run, you're kind of pacing by yourself. But I mean, is that just the time where you can just reset and well, you kind of know something's gonna happen, so you'll end up being tightened back up?
Yeah, it's just like watching a NASCAR race there. You know the big one's coming, so you just sort of bide your time and try and stick it out till the end.
Well, Greg, you did an excellent job of doing that, and you wrapped the night up with 2 podiums for that 014. Congratulations, my man, and just extending that points lead that much more over Terry Landis. So congratulations. Who you want to thank?
We got to thank John Rayner for hosting both those races tonight for us, and again the volunteers that put the time in and make this all happen for us, and you and Marty for doing the broadcast.
Well, I appreciate that, Greg. Congratulations on another good run here, man, and hopefully I talk to you next week, brother.
Yep, let's hope so. Have a good week.
That's Greg Boydell, your third place finisher. And now we bring up the man who finished P2 here, the Bass man, Roger Craig. Roger, you find yourself out front, but Bixler, man, the mare, he weasels his way under you going down the backstretch and gets that elbow out a little bit. I mean, what are you feeling here coming to the line?
Well, I think you hit it the nail on the head, the weasel. Yeah, it was. I've looked at the replay. How many tires could be below the line when you pass?
Yeah, nowadays, truthfully, I don't think you're supposed to have any. And if you,
that's interesting. There might be a protest there.
Yeah, if you hear the broadcast, you'll hear me say that. So I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Well, yeah. Regardless, he weaseled his way by me for sure, and he had got caught in that last wreck. We were joking about, yeah, but you're gonna have fresh tires, and I think that's what made the difference there. And he did. He caught me off guard coming up the inside. I had no idea where he came from.
Yeah, I mean, he just gets enough of a run to get down in there. And then did you think, maybe coming to the start-finish line that you'd have enough time to get a run back, or just not enough time after the contact going into 3?
Well, if I was a better driver, I might have had a chance to get in the back. But, yeah, I didn't want to block him. I saw him coming the inside. He's a teammate, and, you want to you don't want to take out a teammate, right? So even though I had threatened to on the pace laps, but anyways, it was it was a fun race.
Yeah, man. I always say it. It may take a little bit to get there sometimes, but man, you guys never disappoint. I have yet to talk about one of these races without a good finish here in the asphalt side. And man, you guys really turned it up and put on a good one again. So for that, I appreciate it, Roger. Great run in P2, my man. Who you want to thank?
Well, first of all, hopefully we won't have as many cautions next time. But other than that, yeah, it was a lot of fun racing. I just want a couple of shout outs. It was great to see Bob Curtis out tonight. That was good. But we're missing buddy Bill Calder. So thoughts and prayers go out to Bill, thinking of him. And, hopefully he'll be back on the track soon.
Yeah, Greg brought him up, and I heard he has some testing coming up. So, Bill, we're rooting for you, man, and we want you to get back out here too. But congratulations, Roger. Good run, man. And hopefully I talk to you more this week or at least next week.
Well, and thanks, Shaggy, for all you're doing for the league. And you and I know there's probably a major announcement coming for next season. So thanks for all you do, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Roger. And once again, man, congratulations. Good run tonight.
Yeah, I'll let you pass it over to the Weasel now.
All right, yeah, I'll call him out when I bring him up here.
Please do, yeah. Okay, thanks, buddy.
Will do. Well, we got the mare here weaseled his way on up, going down the backstretch. Steve, man, you get a run coming out of 2, and boy, you were quick. You just shoved that thing down on the bottom, and boy, you made it happen, man. Talk to us about it.
Well, they got the banging wheels there a little bit, and that was my opening, and then Mike was in front of me, Mike Cranmer, and I'm not sure what happened. All of a sudden, Mike turned sideways, and like I said, I caught a little bit of him, and I didn't know what had happened there. Like I said, then Roger was in front of me there, and I caught up to him real quick, and I didn't know whether I could go, if I should go high or low or whatever, but I was kind of below the yellow line, so maybe it wasn't all legal, Shaggy.
Well, I mean, you're making your move. We kind of looked at it back here, and when I called it live, I mean, I was kind of against you there, but here when I slowed it down watching you and Roger go at it here, I mean, you kind of make your move, and he does come down a little bit on you. So if anything, you're kind of trying to avoid contact at that point and just making sure the teammates bring home the 1-2. So I'll go to bat for you here a little bit.
All right, thanks, Shaggy. Glad I got your vote there anyway. But no, I got underneath Roger, and like I said, and then he moved down a little bit. And you can't blame him; he was blocking too, But I was out there that, hey, if I'm gonna win this thing, this is the only chance I got. So.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, the hourglass was running out of sand, and you're able to take advantage of that last opportunity you had, Steve. Congratulations, my man. First win of the season here, and, well, that'll help you out in the points a lot, too. So congratulations, man. Who you want to thank?
Well, first of all, I got to thank Mauer Farm Management for being our title sponsor here for the retreads, and all the sponsors in the Coast to Coast League, and all the admins, and the people behind the scenes that you don't see, like Bill Calder. You don't see Bill race that much, but Bill does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I'd like to thank him. And that's about it. Thank you there, Shaggy, for the broadcast. You do a terrific job, and it's always fun to be on here with you.
Well, hey, congratulations, Steve. Congratulations. Big win, my man, and I really appreciate the thank you. It means a lot, and, I love calling the races for you guys. Your family especially, you got my long-lost cousin there is your grandson, so I'm always hoping a little bit of talent there rubs off on me, but it never happens, Steve. He hogs all of it.
Well, Kale's my son, and Blake is not is not related. He's closer to you than he is to me. So,
crap! I had it understood that he was your grandkid. I thought somebody told me that.
No,
Okay.
When Kale races with us, and he's military and he was overseas, so he only run matinees and stuff, and now he's running the stuff at night. He's stationed in the States now, so he gets to run a lot of night stuff with us.
Yeah, I get to see Kale every now and then too in the Friday Night Lights. I think he runs that over there with Joe Hall.
Oh, does he? Okay, yeah. And then, like I said, Blake, he's just a good friend of mine. Him and his, and the whole Flatline Racing Bodies family, they're friends of mine. So,
well, there we go, man. Well, either way, tell him to send some of that talent my way the next time you see him, Steve. I'm sick of him winning all the races and me getting none. But congratulations, my man. Big win tonight, and hopefully I talk to you next week, brother.
All right, thanks, Shaggy.
And, well, I could have swore somebody once told me that Bixler was Blake's grandpa. I'm going to have to go dig in here in the messages. I'm telling you, I did not make that up. I want to blame Dino for that. I think Dino told me that, but we'll see here. I'll find the receipts. And with that here, we're going to wrap it up on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thanks for tuning in on the Dirt Track Bank Friday Night Lights side for this test. Don't worry, it won't happen again. We're just back to our normal Friday night racing. But I think I am going to be on the call for you this Friday. So if you're here on the Coast to Coast side, make sure you tune in tomorrow night. I'll be on the call for Hometown Heroes, and I'm going to be here Thursday night as well for a little Thursday Night Thunder. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a show. Tune in with me all week. Your boy Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, signing off. Have a good evening.